I'm Jon from Hayes Daniel, and today Christian is going to talk us through the 3-5-7 rule.
The 3-5-7 rule is a rule that is to be applied with decorating. It is simply saying that odd numbers tend to work better. They create an asymmetrical profile that the eye finds more interesting, that it keeps things moving and dynamic, whereas even numbers and the symmetry that comes with them tend to be a little bit more static. So what we're thinking with the 3-5-7 rule is that if you are doing a grouping on a coffee table or on a mantle or on a bookcase, that doing groupings of 3 or 5 or 7 are going to be more interesting. So get a pile of books, get a candle, get an interesting sculpture, some art piece, put them together, see what things work together. But those groupings without pairs are going to be more interesting. Same with pillows on a sofa. One pillow at either end, boring, our grandmothers did it. Nowadays, you're either going to see 3, 5, 7 in mixed up patterns as well. But this keeps things interesting, keeps the eye moving, and has a more modern dynamic feel to it. Once you start recognizing this pattern and playing with it, you'll start seeing it everywhere, but also seeing places where you can put it to work for yourselves. So that's very simply what the 3-5-7 rule is. It has nothing to do with math, but just using some odd numbers to make your interiors more interesting.
I love this rule because, and I have to remind myself of it all the time, just because it's my intuition to start balancing things out, to create symmetries. And when I start doing that, it just starts looking a little bit composed.
Fixed.
You know what I mean? And sometimes that's warranted, and that's the look I'm going for. But other times it can just feel a little bit, yeah. So breaking things up with odd numbers, and especially 3-5-7, I think is really great just to have on the tip of your tongue whenever you're trying to do a little zhuzh here or a little zhuzh there, just to make sure that you're trying as much as possible to break up those numbers.
And if you're working with, say you've got end tables that have matching table lamps on them on either end of your sofa, you can start playing with some groupings that put them a little bit off balance. Odd numbers again, put 1 or 3 elements on one side, maybe 1 on the other side. You're going to have an odd number altogether, but these groupings are going to help make this feel a little bit unbalanced, but in a good way.
So you're looking for clusters instead of pairs. And I just think it makes every home just a little bit better. Oh, thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
I always wanted to know that rule. It's true. I did. You guys, for other tips like that, please follow us at Hayes Daniel. We're here and we're happy to share our information with you in the attempts to make your homes look that much better.
Yeah. So subscribe and we'll see you next time.